Okay. We can see that I've gotten quite a bit of work done on each of these little houses, and each were a learning curve. Um, I tried several different methods for adding on the trim that I just didn't like. So what I came up with was I simply cut small pieces of paper and laid them down, and I basically glued them in place first and then cut them. I'm going to show you that technique because I want to build I'm going to build another house. And you can see here I've also added on the little banister, etc. These, let me see, where's my little one of the nice things about working with such tiny things is I can, I can put everything in a tiny little bag. So I've got all the pieces here that I was working with. And basically what I did, you can see this tiny little piece here of wood. I took, let me see if I can pull one out. This is just one of those little craft sticks, and I basically just put my straight edge down and cut carefully. I did not measure these. I did them mostly by eyeball, simply because they're just so tiny. So I have some of these extra ones left over for reasons which I'll explain in a minute. But, I was dealing with little pieces like this. I still have some places in here that I need to touch up paint, do a little sanding, and then you can see the windows. I added some glossy stuff in there. And I did that for two reasons. Number one, I didn't like how, let me see if I can show it on this side. These are a little lumpier than I would have liked. So the inside yellow part. So that's why I've added this Dimensional Magic stuff in there. And again, this is one of those things where I can hear people saying, but I think it looked better before. Yeah. There are aspects of it that, I kind of wish this wasn't quite as wonky as it is. But you know what? This is the first time I've ever made one of these, so they're going to be a little wonky. This is the first time I've built a teeny tiny little bit here. You can also see I've got some tiny little smudgings in here that I need to take care of. And then the one thing that I was struck with last night on this house, there's not a single door into the house that's not like available on the second floor. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Because as a child, I simply pulled this, this one open and then this one opened, which I think is very interesting. So that's where I am here. And this stuff takes a couple of hours to dry. So basically I just squirt it in and then lay it flat and walk away and don't mess with it. And I'm going to show you how I use that, because you can see I used it in here. Now, whereas I don't like, this is okay. This is okay. I like the effect better here on this house. It somehow stylistically fits a little bit better. So you can see on the little Renwall house, I've done that, and I've also added in the little strips for the little shutters. So you can see I've added those all the way around. And to achieve this, I went ahead and trimmed it down. I'm sorry, I don't have this to show. This is actually not the best piece. Here it is. This one, I simply, at the top and at the bottom, you basically just draw yourself, and I should have done it on the sides too to make it really super, great, but I didn't because I'm an impatient artist. I just drew, measured it, 2 millimeters, and then just connected them using a straight edge and a colored pencil. And it's really rough. There's some ways that I would like to improve this, but again, it's one of those things, one of those times in which I did it this way, and then my brain starts cranking away like, what if I did it this way? What if I did it that way? And I think in the future, I know this sounds really strange, but I think I would like to use a thread instead. And hear me out on this one. I think in future, because I've talked about this in some other videos previous, that in future pieces like this, that I would cut through this and then perhaps add something from the back instead. And I think having a piece like a larger piece like that would be this big, which I could handle, I could stitch this more easily. So that's something I'm thinking of. Gosh, that's like the fourth version of this. So you can see where I'm going here. Now, I would like to add some little window boxes. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some bigger strips out, and they're just going to be brown. And I think they're going to be, because this is actually not brown, this is more that burgundy color that I mixed up that I really like for this. And then I'm going to come in and do some very careful painting here, adding some of this burgundy in. But what I want to show you now first is how I use this stuff. And I think I'll use it on this one because this one's just easier because I can lay it flat. And there's the only gripe about this that I have, and it's a tiny little gripe, is sometimes the little schnozzle here gets stopped up and I have to open it up with a pin. And again, this is one of those things where you just go slowly. And I add in, and you kind of have to, okay, what is it called? It's, oh gosh, I forget what there's, God, I hate menopause brain. It has to do with fluid dynamics on a small scale. God, why can't I think of this word? Let me see, I do need a pin or a piece of wood. Ooh, not that one. That's got something yucky on it. Here, this doesn't have anything on it. Capillary action, that's what I'm looking for. And because this is kind of an odd shape, I'm kind of pulling this into the corners a little bit, just really carefully, because I want as little, like you can see here, there's some tiny little bubbles in there that hopefully, sometimes you can get rid of them by doing this. Some heat will help it. And I think this needs just a tiny bit more. And everything about these little houses has been like, go really slowly. You can see here, I am squeezing ever so gently, putting this in. And I can tell that it's not even because you can see where it's beginning to pool on one side. So I'm going to very carefully come in here and slowly, because if you work too fast with this, then it'll bubble up. I don't know how many of you maybe have worked with UV resin and other sorts of resin. I would really like to get some. I've worked mostly with non-UV resins. I would really love to give UV resins a whirl, but for right now, I just don't have. I don't have enough of an immediate need for it. So it's just one of those things that, what is it? Everybody has like an Amazon wish list where they keep all the stuff that they like to buy. I think I've put it in a wish list. And again, just a tiny bit at a time. I've been really pleasantly surprised and pleased with this Dimensional Magic. I did not think I was going to like it. I got it as a stopgap for another project, thinking, well, it might work. And it's turned into a really nice product. I've used it and in the two saint figures as kind of a glue to help me with the different sorts of plastics that I've been working with. So again, now if I were to use something like this for something like I was describing here, where I would put it from the back, I think I would choose instead a just a regular gloss varnish or sealant instead, or maybe even just glue in a piece of plastic behind it, like a thin sheet of recycled plastic. Now, I need to wipe this off. And you can see it's all there, it's all shiny. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this aside and let it cure for however long. I think within about a half an hour it's tacky. I don't touch it. And then within maybe 3 hours it's pretty much done. It's cooked. It's not going to move around. I just don't want to get anything on it, like a fingerprint or anything like that. So I usually just set these aside. I'm going to lean back here and do that now because I will forget that I've done it. Now, also with this piece, I'm going to add in some little flower boxes. I still need to do, like, I want to do a little welcome mat here and a little pardon me, mailbox. I also would like to paint in some stonework here because on the original the original little chimney, there's like, it's a lithograph, a litho sticker sort of thing. I don't know quite how to explain the process. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to explain it to you in another video, which I'm probably I need to create like a PowerPoint presentation about like my absolute adoration of Keystone toys, Keystone dollhouses, and I think my love of the Keystone toys and dollhouses fed in to my love of the vintage Fisher-Price, which wasn't vintage for me when I was playing with it, but it also had those were lithographed stickers that you could put on them. And in the resale market, you can buy reproduction litho stickers to put on a piece that you're restoring. And the quality of them is sometimes like really super excellent. So I'm going to add on the little flower boxes. I also have a little decorative element that I want to add here that was on the original Keystone. It's a little clover. And I like it because there's a kind of a a hex sign kind of thing kind of going with it. I'm also going to be adding on some it's going to be colored pencil again, lines. If you look in my portfolio, I have added the small yellow dollhouse. And you'll see on that one, I had done some things to the roof. I'm not going to do that again, but I'm going to be doing it with colored pencil because this is just too small for me to fiddle with the painting. I've toyed with the idea of adding some flowers and other things. I think I'm not going to because there are other things that I want to do around the piece once it's attached. So yeah, a little painting here, a little drawing here, adding in some little window boxes that I think I'm going to make the same color, this burgundy color here. I don't know if I'm going to put anything in the window boxes, probably not. So that is where I am right now. Man, I just ramble. So I'm going to get some more windows. I think I'm going to do the 2 side windows because I can lay these flat and then add in the little window pieces here, the little glass bits with this Dimensional Magic. Again, Mod Podge, sponsor me. So thank you for being around, patrons, and I will see you in the next video.